Hello guys, how you doing today? And I really appreciate every one of you for coming here today. And I hope from here you are able to get all the information you need to start your graphics business or your tech space, to start from the tech space world. So my name is Taiwo Obunga, and I have been doing graphics design for the past 5 years, and I've worked with over, say, 50 companies so far. The major purpose of starting this class is to help you navigate your way through the tech space, starting with the graphics design. This is actually going to be a free graphics design training class, and we have some facilitators here. I gathered some brains to help you out with all the information you need. So I would need you to get ready to write and ask all the questions that you need, and just pay so much attention on everything that to everything that we're about to teach you guys and tell you guys, right? We have a guest speaker today, and his name is Fee. Is going to come live very soon. Thank you very much. Hold on. So guys, I will be sharing my screen with us all. So this, welcome to the future, mastering graphics design. This is going to be your food for thought. I want to guarantee you 3 things from this class and from this week's session. Some of you here will take this class seriously, and at the end of the day, you will watch yourself become a highly sought after designer. While some of you are not even meant to be here, I fear you will not even, take this class seriously, which I'm seeing a lot of people already doing that. And some of you will leave at some point and will be joining every free class afterwards. I want you to write your own story, okay? So basically, before we even talk about what is graphic design, okay, let's talk about what is graphic design first of all. Graphic design is a selection and arrangement of visual elements to convey a message to an audience. I hope everybody can see my screen. Please, if you can see my screen, kindly signify. I'm sorry for not asking that earlier. Kindly just comment in the, place your comments on the section board, on the comments board. Can we all see my screen? Hello, can we all see my screen? For those saying the audio is breaking, I think it's your network. Or is it everyone? Is my network breaking? Please kindly indicate. Do you have, can everyone hear me? Okay, thank you very much. So what is graphic design? Graphic design is a selection and arrangement of visual elements to convey a message to an audience. You gather different elements. Actually, it has to do with visuals. Anything graphic design has to do with visual. These visual elements could include typography, it could be letter designs, it could be images, it could be symbols and colors, to just put everything together to be able to convey a message to your particular kind of audience. That is what graphic design is. And yes, we have different types of graphic design. We have the corporate kind of design, right? And for me to actually be able to explain this to you properly, I would actually be, showing you guys more of the visuals and some of the things I have worked on before. So right here is what I mean by when I say corporate design, this is what I mean by corporate design. Sorry. Okay. So corporate design is basically designing something for a corporate organization or a corporate firm that is, working on the visuals or some branding of a corporate firm. So when you see a corporate designer, we have those that work. Please, if you are not muted, can you mute, please? Thank you very much. For the corporate designers are those that work with firms and that help firm brand their whole products. Earlier on I said graphic design is the use of using of usage of images to actually convey a message, and there are different ways of doing that. So this is actually a firm that I branded, and this is a typical example of corporate branding is this. Then another type of branding that we have, illustration designs. This is the use of using illustration. That is more of like all your logos, anything that has to do with logo, anything that has to do with your phones, PNG files, and all your Wi-Fi, PNGs and stuff like that are all illustration designs. Then marketing and advertising designs. Basically where I am right now, I'm trying to, tell you guys types of design. Okay, sorry, hold on. I want to show you one example, typical example of marketing design. So this is a typical example of marketing design. This is the use of using image to convey your message, for brands that, need a marketing poster. This is you. This is you showing your brand, your designs to the world, and you trying to sell a product. These are typical example of marketing designs. When you hear anything like marketing designers, they basically deal with posters that actually sell products. Another example are publication designs, right? Publication designs has to do with books. That is where you have, brochures. That is where you have your menu lists. That is where you have, titles. These ones are basically just, they work with brands that design book publications and stuff like that. They are a special breed of design. Now, in the design world, for you not to float, for you to be able to scale, for you to be able to, go further, you might decide to actually be a freelancer or someone, a specialist. So specialists are those that, specialize on a particular kind of design. That is, some persons deal with just, publication designs alone. Some person deals with just corporate design. Some person deals with packaging design. Now, a typical example of packaging design, let me show you a typical example of packaging design. Okay, I think I clicked on that earlier. These ones are more of, another name for these persons are called product designers, where, they brand, products for companies. They design products for, that's, Nike designers, that is products like this. They design just a packaged product for brands. People that specialize on things like this are called, product designers. And we have motion design. We also have the UI design. Those ones are for, UI UX. That is your interface, like the whole screen that you are looking at right now. There are some special kind of designers that do that, and that is another entire form, another entire space for design. So in this class, I know that there are a lot of us that might not have a laptop, and some of us might have issues. So I made this class a very responsive class by doing what, we have some facilitators that will come to teach you guys about phone designs. So the world is so advanced right now where you can actually design even from your phone, live from your phone. So yeah, so we're going to actually be touching that in this class. And prior to this class, maybe in the latter stage, if you have any form of information or if you have anything you need or you feel you would like to know, please feel free to, slide into my DM or WhatsApp or my Instagram or social media pages to ask for any information that you need. So there are several tools for graphic design. In fact, if I say I should write everything if I say I should design everything for you to see, this whole space wouldn't be enough for that. So I just kept the, the major ones that we might be touching in this masterclass session, some that I'll be touching. So we have Photoshop. Photoshop is popularly used by graphic designers. That is one of the major tools that graphic designers use. It is extremely useful and much more advanced. We have illustrators. It's used for posters. This Photoshop is actually used for poster designs and a lot of mock-ups, and we'll get into that. We'll get deeper into that. We have the AI, that is the Illustrator. All these are called the Adobe family, and Illustrator is basically used for tools. That's for illustration. I said earlier that we have those that are specialists for designing or Illustrator designers. That is basically what they do. So they use this particular tool for design, this particular software for their design. We have also the InDesign. This InDesign is basically used for brochures and your books. Yeah, it is used to design several brochures and books. After Effects is used for motion graphics majorly. There are a lot of tools used that is being used for motion graphics anyways, but the popularly used one, the most effective and professional software for motion graphics is After Effects. Then we have Lightroom. Lightroom is used by mostly photographers to touch their images, their JPEG files. So excuse me. Then we have CorelDRAW. CorelDRAW is also used by graphic designers. In fact, it is one of the major tools I used in learning graphic design. So your phone applications, we have applications like PixArt, we have Snapseed, we have Remini, we have Pixel Lab, and we have Canva, which we would actually be touching in this class. We'll be touching Canva and teaching you all the whole basics and some very, very important information to know about this design. So what are we going to cover for this week? We're going to cover design fundamentals, right? And from the design fundamentals, I'm going to teach you about, the basics of design, everything you need to know. In fact, I would, because we're in a world where, there's what we call sequential learning. And that is what one of the major things I'm going to do. I'm going to proliferate your learning process so that you don't necessarily have to go through a lot of things that you don't need anymore. I mean, people are making a lot of money from design nowadays, and some people don't even have a laptop. Some people use just the phone to design anything they want. And, we're going to be touching that. We're going to also be touching phone designs. We're going to be touching Photoshop, which we have facilitators for all this specific field to be able to, explain better and further for you guys and giving you every single information that you need. We're also going to be touching some key parts of this class. That is the branding and the business of the design, which is actually a very, very key thing to the design, the tech world, branding yourself and the business of the design. Because I mean, by the end of the day, everybody wants to make money. And I know some of us are here because of the talent. I know some of us are here because of the passion, but we still have to, put ourselves out there to be able to, get something out from this and show the world what we can actually design. Yeah, so in conclusion, here are some designs that I made, and I would be taking you through the whole interface of, some of the major tools I used to design this. Like this truck here is called a mock-up. We would actually touch that briefly. This is a logo. We'll touch that briefly. This is a poster which was done on Photoshop. We'll touch that briefly. Then I don't know if you can see my screen. We would, also touch some little things on, this, I did make this on using Figma, but right now Adobe has, taking Figma from the normal way. I would have actually shown you some tiny basic things to just, okay, let's just expand our horizons to show you the possibilities that can happen in the design world through all of this. Would get to all of that, yeah? So, and thank you. This is just a little presentation I have for you, but we are still going to talk more on each and every one of those designs. We have a guest speaker here, and his name is Fee.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. So I'd like to know, does anyone have any question? Or if you have questions anyway, you could please type it in the chat box, and be sure that we are going to take every question before the end of today's session. So very briefly, we're going to be having Fee Stephen Michael come up in a bit, but before he does, I'm just going to introduce him to us. As a growth marketing and digital marketing professional, Fee Stephen helps brands within and outside Africa build digital assets, strategies, and marketing campaigns for peak profitability. This way, he lives out his passion to enable organizations maximize digital tools and platforms. Fee is one of the Facebook certified digital marketing associates in West Africa. He is also a Facebook certified media buying professional, discovery commerce specialist, community manager, media planning professional, and lead trainer. He is a certified social media marketing strategist by HubSpot Academy, a Google certified digital marketer, a certified British project management professional, and a SMEDAN certified business development service provider. Fee believes strongly that digital tools can help people and businesses become more productive and profitable. This is why over the last 12 months, he has trained over 1,500 people on digital marketing, digital product creation, branding, and digital productivity. He was awarded the Yearly Star of Business as an outstanding participant of the USAID and MasterCard Foundation sponsored Young African Leaders Initiative Regional Leadership Program in Accra, Ghana. With over 6 years experience under his belt, Fee has developed skills in expert digital marketing, leadership, web development, goal setting, financial management, project management, business growth, and technical consultation. He's an alumnus of digital entrepreneurship from the Facebook Nigeria sponsored Faith Foundation AEP program. He is also an alumnus of entrepreneurship and business finance from Kaduna Business School, a beneficiary of the Facebook Developer Circle Scholarship and the Udacity Mobile Web Specialist Scholarship. Fee identifies with the 8th Sustainable Development Goal of the United Nations to create decent work and economic growth. He is a project lead at Elisha Maman International, an organization committed to leading and inspiring young people around the globe towards intentional living. Through its platform, The Winning Mindset, as the leader of the Winning Mindset team, Fee coordinates one of the fastest growing personal development platforms in Northern Nigeria. In 2020, Fee continued his growth journey as a beneficiary of the Harvard Business School online scholarship. Ladies and gentlemen, we are privileged to have Fee Stephen Michael in the house tonight. What a profile. If you're as excited as I am, please virtually clap your hands as we welcome Fee Stephen Michael to the podium. Thank you very much, everyone. Welcome, Fee Stephen, and good evening.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Peace, for going through that profile. It's actually longer than I thought Much to the hosts. Taye, thank you for putting forward to as many of you that the journeys, and those journeys are going to be really types of journeys, because I myself had and I will talk about some things tonight, and we'll be out of here. But I'll be talking about some things that um you know is always a starting point, and this can literally be for a lot of you. But just before I go ahead, just a quick confirmation. Me and you're ready to go, just go ahead and type "I am ready" in the hear me, and that you're all ready for. So I can see Springton. It says ready. Awesome. That means yeah, Richmond, peace. I am ready. Wisdom, I am ready. Also started. There's something that I have noticed. Digital assets, right? Building profitable digital assets, and I'll start from this. So there's something that I've noticed, and I think that most of you have noticed this. Most plants tend to grow to the highest. I mean, now if a tree, let's say for example a mango tree, some of you have a particular location, and in that location there are nutrients in the soil. There is the place has sufficient depth to go down, the roots can go down, there's sufficient water, and produced as much as it can. That's like the limit. The limit of that is the highest it can be. That's what happens for a lot. That's also something that can happen even for human beings. It's just that we are unable to have goals that are possible expressions of us. Now, follow me step by step. The question is design. Okay, someone is saying that they're having like a cracky audio. Is it the same everywhere? I'm just trying to be sure. Some of you are having that issue. Let me show that is a network issue from their end, or if it's from my end. I just did a quick change of network though. How's the audio like at your end?
From their end, we're good.
Okay, all right, great, perfect. Israel is saying you can't seem to hear me. How many people? Awuzie, Alex, Israel. This is a lot of people. Aziz. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Is it any better now? Israel and the rest. Is it any better? Can you hear me better now? Is it better now? Okay, that's fine. Let me just continue. So yeah, I was saying that every single person has the highest expression of who you can become and what you can do. I'll go into technicalities in a minute, but I just want to start with this mindset hack that will help you literally become the best you can be. All right. So every single person, yourself included, you have what is called the highest expression of who you can become and what you can do. And this highest expression evolves over time. So if you're going to start design, if you're going to start learning design, I want you to learn design with the mindset or the inquisitiveness that says, what is the highest expression of a designer? I was speaking with a mentee of mine that just transitioned from marketing to design. And she had learned graphic design, she had learned UI UX design, Figma and the rest. And at the moment, we're trying to look at some other types of designs. There are some experiential designs, there are some kinds of illustrations that are not even popular at all. Just a few people are in that kind of niche. There are some kinds of designs that are not even really talked about in the public space. Not so much. There are people that are into it, but it's not really mainstream. But there are higher levels. The question is, oh, I've conquered this level, but what is the next level? What's the next thing I need to learn? As much as you're trying to master one thing, you're not mastering that thing and staying at that level when there can be something more. So if there's anything I want you to start with, even as you're starting this journey, or if you're continuing this journey for those that are already designers, ask yourself, what is the highest expression of who I am as a designer and what I can do? So you can start from somewhere, but that's not your highest expression. All right. So now let's take it a bit forward into actually building digital assets. And I started from that point because some of the things I want to share may not really be useful or may not really be necessary for someone that is not interested in the highest expression. Let me explain what I mean. Being basic, if you want to be basic, there are a lot of things that you do not need. If you want to be an ordinary person, an ordinary designer, there are a lot of things you don't need. Most of the assets I'll be talking about, some of you, your mind will already be fighting you and saying, oh, I don't need this one, or I don't need that one. And that's fine. That's okay. But you have to ask yourself, do you really not need this? Or is it just a part of you that doesn't want you to express yourself in the highest possible way? So what are these assets? Now, the first asset, I'll just run through this and we'll come to an end. This is going to be a very, very brief session. I want to finish at, say, 9:40 thereabouts, 25 to 30 minutes. So I'll try to keep it within that range. All right. The first digital asset that is really great, even as a designer, is what I call digital real estate. Digital real estate. Digital real estate simply talks about your website. Now, this is how estates work, right? If you want to get real estate, if a land has already been bought by someone else, do you know that for you to own that land, you would need to buy it from that person? No two people, all right, except they bought it together, no two people can own the same piece of land. And it's something that happens online with websites, with domains. So if I have a domain, for example, fiststeven.com, no other person can buy that domain. Why? Because I have bought it. It's like a land for me. It's like my own real estate. So if you want to buy that same domain, you will need to either buy it from me or wait for my ownership of that domain to expire. This is how domains work. That's why someone else cannot just wake up and say, oh, I want to register facebook.com. I have an idea that name will be perfect for. No, you can't do that anymore. Why? Facebook.com is already registered. fiststeven.com is already registered. But then why is your own domain not yet registered? For some of you, you may say, oh, there's no money yet and things like that. But a domain name is literally around 6,000-7,000 naira. I don't think it's up to 10,000 naira yet. It was at the time that it was like 5,000 naira. I know it has increased a bit from then. But the first assets that you need is what I call digital real estate. And this is your website or your portfolio. Your website or your portfolio. So this is the first thing I need to put together. To do that, you need to buy a domain. Some of you may need to actually build your website. There are some content management systems that helps with that. CMSs, there's WordPress, there's Wix, helps you to build a simple website very, very easily. All right, you can learn these things on YouTube and just put this together. Why? With a website, with a portfolio, as a designer, you get to stand out. When people ask you, oh, where can I see what you've done before? Yes, you can send your Instagram. Yes, you can send other kinds of visual portfolios like your Behance and things like that. But you can also send your websites. The person that sends Behance versus the person that sends websites, based on perception, there can be a link to your Behance on your website or to your Dribble on your website. But based on perception, the person that has a website will be perceived, okay, to be let's say every other thing is equal. Let's say the quality of designs on Behance are the same, the quality of designs on Instagram are the same. Every other thing being equal, the person that sends a website will be perceived higher than the person that doesn't. And it is just what it is. It doesn't mean the other person is better. No, it's just what it is. All right. So that's the first digital asset that you need to plan for. I'm not saying you should get it immediately, but plan that at a point in time in your journey, you would have this ready. Now, the second digital asset that is important for designers is what I call social media authority. Social media authority. Now, there are a number of people that they would say, you would say things like, oh, it's not I don't really like posting. It's not really my thing to share online. I understand that can happen for some people. Okay. But if your design path involves some sort of interaction with the public, and by that I mean, if you're designing for, let's say, small business owners, or you're designing for entrepreneurs and things like that, if your design path is along that path, you need social media authority. And how do you do that? first, some of you will need to sanitize. That's like the first step of building social media authority. You have to sanitize your current social media. That means you have to remove some things that do not really align with the path that you're taking, right? And then the second thing to do is to define your niche and create content around that niche. So you're building social media authority by sanitizing and by defining your niche and creating content around that niche. Now let's take a step further. The third assets that you need, and I'm just running through this so you can take note of it while you're starting this up. The third asset you need is the asset of valuable content. I'll explain why this is an asset. At every point in time, decisions are made about you, but these decisions are made based on what you present. It's just like a court of law. In a court of law, the only judgment that can be passed on you is the judgment that comes from the evidences, okay? The evidences that are brought before you, the proof that is brought before the courts. That's the only thing that can be used to pass judgment on you, all right? So what's the evidence? What's the proof? What's the backing? Your content is like that evidence. It's like that proof. People judge you, judge your quality of work, judge your quality of designs based on the evidence that you bring before them, and that is your content. So for some of you that if you're just starting up, the third one is valuable content. Someone is asking for the third one. Valuable content is the third asset. All right. How do you create valuable content? When it comes to valuable content, one way to create valuable content, especially as a designer, is by sharing your work. There are designers that say, oh, I don't have what to share because I've not designed in a while. You are a designer. You need to design. Don't say that you don't have a paid job or you don't have someone coming to someone paying for a job yet from you, right? You are a designer, and as a designer, your work is to design. You're literally trying to improve your design. So what do? You pick up designs, you make designs, and then you share those designs. That is valuable content. So there are other parts of valuable content, like it being educative, informative, entertaining, and things like that. But this is like the core when it comes to the niche that we're dealing with, the niche of design. All right. So valuable content, really important. Just two more. The fourth is a list. The fourth asset is a list. Now, I'm saying these things, most of you may not get all of these assets, but anybody that has all these assets I'm listing, there can't be a designer that has all these assets I'm about to list that will still be looking for too much of things. No, it's not possible. All right. So the fourth asset is a list. What's a list? A list is just a group of people that are interested in something. That's what the list is. It's also called an audience. Some people call it an audience list. All right. A group of people that are interested in something. How do you build a list? There are several things, several ways of building a list. You can use a lead magnet. You can use a couple of things. These are some things that you need to go and check after this session, because this is like an overview kind of session. This is a session that just gets you started, makes you know that these are things you need to put together. Okay, it doesn't go really much in depth, right? But you need to build a list. You can use, for your email list, you can use things like MailChimp. You can use platforms like MailerLite. It's an email list. Some of you may want to build WhatsApp list. That's also fine. But I always recommend the email list. All right. That's the fourth. And then the fifth one, because I'm about rounding up, I want to finish at 9:40 max. The fifth one, the fifth asset you need is product or service. Sometimes I change that to product and service, right? But you need a product or a service, or you need a product and a service. A product is something that can be bought. It can be a design package. It can be design ideas. It can be a simple product, a digital product, maybe an ebook or something that has design ideas. Some people get to sell design assets like color packs. Some people get to sell templates. Some people sell templates on Canva. Some people sell templates on several platforms. There are several platforms where templates are sold. Okay, you can get to research on that, but those are products. Services are your actual designs. So you can have services based on the designs you make, the designs you're specializing on. If your specialization is say flyer design for a start, if you're starting with that, you can have services that relate to that. Your services should have a price so that when someone comes to you, you already have some sort of template on what the person will buy. This is an asset. Most people that are looking for money online, if you ask them, okay, you're looking for money, what do you sell? There's no products, there's no service. It becomes really, really difficult. your product or your service. Now, these ones I've talked about are typical assets for everybody. When it comes to building a career in design, right? Now that can take an entirely different turn. When it comes to building a career in design, I'm talking about this as someone that has mentored someone that's currently in a product design role, all the way from marketing. So this, when it comes to career, there's a totally different turn. There are places where some things are prioritized over the others. For example, for your website, you're prioritizing a portfolio, a proper portfolio that shows what you've done before. All right, you're prioritizing a portfolio over just a simple website. You're also prioritizing things like your CV, things like the applications you're making. Those are things you're prioritizing when it comes to career, when it comes to your career path. And you're doing that in line with the career that you are pursuing at this time. Remember what I said? I said that at every point in time, you must ask yourself, what is the highest expression of what I am doing? So no matter where you're starting, keep asking yourself that question. What is the highest expression? Is this the highest expression? Can I be a UX designer? Can I be a graphic designer? Can I be a UI designer? Can I be a product designer? What's the highest expression of this? Even beyond product design, can I be an experiential? I think that was called designer. There's some other newer niches that are coming up that you can get to learn about and get to specialize in. But you keep growing, you keep becoming better step by step by step. This is how you can get to that point where you're not just learning this for the now, but you're learning it to truly add value both to yourself and to the people that are around you. You're growing yourself, both in your skill, but not just in your skill, but also financially. These things can take some time. Let me just put that caveat. It can take some time because a lot of things take time. Like my journey, most of you heard my profile. Those things took time to build. But then you can speed up your journey by learning from platforms like this. And, it's great work that Saye is doing, just trying to start up a lot of people. My joy would be that after listening to this session, after going through this training, a lot of you will begin to see yourselves as those that can truly achieve the things that you're thinking of when you started this training. There must be something that was in your mind when you registered for this training. All right. But don't just register. Make sure that you're not just part of the number. And this is something I talk about a lot. Do not be a statistic. Do not be one of those that if they say, oh, how many people registered for this? 30 people, 50 people, 100 people. Nobody knows you. Don't be a statistic. Stand out, be committed, and learn the best that you can learn. All right, great. So I'm going to stop here. I'm going to take questions if there are any. And if there are no questions, I'll just stop at this point. This is supposed to be very brief so that we can either go to other things or maybe get to rest. So are there questions or comments or something of that nature?
All right, thank you so much, Fee. Well, man, that was so enlightening. Like, I've really learned a lot, and then I've learned like so many new terms: digital real estate, social media authority, valuable content. I'm sure everybody here has learned something too. So if you have any question, kindly drop your questions. Thank you so much, Fee. But drop your questions in the chat box so that he can answer your questions before he goes. He took out time from his very, very busy schedule, to be here today. Thank you so much, Fee. Really appreciate. So if you have any question, kindly ask your question. Those things that have been. Okay, so we have one question already. The question is from Banji Deji. Banji Deji, good evening. He's asking that, are most design valuable for NFTs? Very interesting question. Fee, you want to jump on it?
All right. So Deji, so when it comes to NFTs, I had a conversation with a couple of people that are specifically in that niche. So when it comes to NFTs, there are a number of things that come together. So there's there's a design part when it comes to creating the art itself, but then there's also the part that has to do with the blockchain. So it's kind of a multifaceted industry. So for NFTs, you can be an NFT designer. Yes, you can. But then for your NFTs to be what generates money for you, there has to be some sort of collaboration with a platform that links you to the blockchain. Okay? That links you to the blockchain. So for you to do that, you can make a bit of of a research on this. There's a platform called OpenSea. I know about OpenSea as one of those platforms that are more democratic, that allows literally anybody to get to upload stuff and get paid for it over time if those NFTs are bought. But you need to do like more research to go a bit deeper into that. But yes, you can be an NFT designer. So I see on that question from Wisdom. Wisdom is asking for me to go a bit deeper on social media authority. Okay, yeah. So Wisdom, social media authority is simply a way of getting recommended for things just by your social media presence. And let me explain that a bit more. If you want to build social media authority, like I said earlier, the first step is sanitization. Sanitization is going to your social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, especially Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter, for those of you that are in design, especially Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So you can go to that platform first and check the things you've posted before. If they are not things that represent your current expression, or they're not things that that serve the current version of you you're trying to build, delete them unemotionally. You know, it's none of us that had sense when we were small. So you must have made some posts that are that will fight your current expression or the current kind of person you're trying to build. If you see those type of posts, delete them without emotions. That's sanitization. After that, you're going to have to define your niche. That means define the kinds of content you want to put out there. For example, my content are personal development content and marketing content majorly. Yeah, and there I talk about things that concern maybe spirituality, but majorly personal development and marketing. Those are like my major niche. For some of you, your content may be design related. You can get to share the things that you're learning, and then also share probably proof of your work or some of the things you're doing or you're working on. Those are some kinds of content you can put out there. That's the fact that you're sharing those things and you're educating. All right, you're educating people, you're maybe entertaining people, you're giving people something that they're interested in. That builds your authority. So it's just like you becoming an influencer in your own right. And literally anybody can do that. You can get to design around a niche. Anybody can. There are some Instagram handles that are just designs or true. Some Instagram handles are just quotes, for example. Some Instagram handles are just maybe artworks that have some sort of meaning. I'm trying to see if I can remember some of them so I can talk about it, but no one is coming to mind right now. I'm following a couple. Some of you know some of these handles. You can check them out. Most of them are maybe either quotes or designs that have a meaning and things like that. So those are some examples of how you can build authority by leveraging content and by making sure that your social media account is not affecting or is not sabotaging your growth potential. All right. So that's how you can build social media authority.
Kofi, thank you very much for your wonderful presentation. Even I myself have been learning a lot from you, and I really appreciate the fact that out of your time, you were able to create time to share some of your knowledge. And my prayer to everyone is like everybody's leaving this place fully loaded with a lot of questions and a lot of curiosity and things to ponder on after the entire class. Thank you so much. We just have one more question to go. Does anybody have any extra question, please? Just type it.
Okay, so I can see that Damilola is asking why are designers not appreciated in Nigeria? Okay, so Damilola, it depends on a number of things. Great designers are literally being fought for, and I'm not talking about this motivationally. Like that, I could even send a screenshot of one of the alumnus of one of my mentees at the moment. She's trying to choose between two organizations in this same Nigeria that wants her, and their offers are really similar. Of course, in the high six figures. So she's trying to say, okay, how do I say no to this and say yes to the other? And she's a designer. She literally started like 1 year ago or so. She transitioned from marketing to design. So yeah, so their designers are being appreciated. Just depends on maybe level of expertise and also visibility and also maybe how you present yourself. There's something I talked about when it comes to rejections, because I just have to touch on this because some of you may get that. I still get rejections even till now. I got a rejection yesterday. So it's not as if that rejections are just for some people. No. People get rejected. If you don't get rejected, it means you're not applying. or you're not looking for things that are bigger than you. I look for things that are bigger than me. I would see that it's bigger than me and I'll look for it. That's how I grow, by daring bigger things than I do. So yeah, I get rejections a lot. I wouldn't say I've gotten anything less than 100 rejections this year. I can't think it's less than that. If you're applying 5 times a day or 10 times a day for some period of time, you get used to rejection. And it's intentional. So the things I do are intentional to build some sort of muscles. Okay. You're trying to, for every application you make, you're learning what are the things that people are looking for. You're also learning what skills you need to do to upskill yourself so you're more qualified for those roles. And you're not just applying for roles that you feel qualified for, you're applying for roles that even if you're not so qualified for, you believe that you can upskill yourself to become. I think I've gone a bit out of the question, but yes, true, designers may not be as appreciated. I think that question makes sense when it's in comparison. If you compare designers in Nigeria with maybe designers in some parts of the world, you can say that Nigerian designers may not be as appreciated as some other designers in several parts of the world. But yes, some designers are still being very appreciated. Some designers are still being, very recognized based on the work that they do. Second question, wisdom, tools for graphic design on mobile. I think you get to learn that wisdom. And then also product design. I don't think you go very deep into that, but this can be this. See, look at this training as a springboard, okay? As a springboard. I'm sure that Taye is amazing at what he does. He's really, really amazing. I'm sure that he's going to give you people like that's knowledge that just gets you started along this path. And I believe that whatever offers he has, either at this free training or maybe paid offers, you guys should just don't waste this opportunity. I think that's what I would say. You, as a graduate, come to an end of this. If there's something that you need to pay for, maybe just pay for it and make an investment in yourself. These things work. I would not lie. Developing yourself works because nobody is looking out for you. Nobody cares about you. Nobody. And I'm not saying this in a way that I don't know if I should say it, but just think about it. Really, the world is not set up for your success. If you don't take it by force, if you don't take the bull by the horn figuratively, you will just be at the same level. You'll just be earning the same kinds that if you're even earning at all. You will not grow, you just stay there, nothing. Okay, so don't waste this opportunity. Get the free knowledge. If there's a paid offer, pay for it. Tell yourself that this will be your own start. Everybody had a start. I had my own start. Tell yourself that this will be your own start. And one more thing, sorry, let me just add one more thing before I close. I know that we're supposed to have closed by now. Yeah, one more thing. No one person can teach you everything you know. There's something I call learning without permission. Learning without permission is your ability to go above and beyond what any one person can teach you. The day that you say that your knowledge, and let me give you an example of how this works. There's someone that can say, I would have learned graphic design if only Taye was available to teach me. He has been very busy. That's why I've not learned graphic design. You're lying. You're lying because what you need to learn is not Taye. What you need to learn is curiosity, data, and YouTube. So there are some things that Taye would definitely teach you, definitely, but you cannot wait for him for everything. He's going to give you that path, give you that direction, but be able to go above. So if, for example, today he teaches fonts, he will teach fonts in a way that you understand, but it's now up to you to go back later and learn fonts online, search for more things. If he teaches you color psychology, right? I'm talking about things I learned. For those of you that don't know, I didn't have time to share my story, but at a point in my life, I also learned graphic design. Yes, I did. I learned graphic. There was a time that I didn't know what to do in my life. I was very confused. So I was learning everything. But now those things I learned are helping me. Why? Because I would say that I'm one of the most well-rounded digital marketers in this country. Someone that has gone through several niches. I learned video editing. I learned graphic design. I learned photo editing. I learned a lot of things, a lot of tech skills. So now when I'm advising a client, when I'm consulting for a company, when I'm consulting with a client, I'm coming with a very holistic knowledge pattern. And that has helped me to get deals both within and outside Africa, a lot of them. Right? So yeah, I'll just stop here. Taye, thank you so much. I think you can take it up from me.
Thank you so much. We are really honored and grateful to have you as a facilitator today. Like we really took down a lot of knowledge and penned down a lot of things. Even I myself, I'm baffled with a lot of knowledge that I thought I had that I didn't know. Then I would like to buffer some things, talk about some things you spoke on, and some of those things are partaking to where someone said why are graphic designers not appreciated in this part of the country. Well, I think basically almost all you know um, tech practitioners or tech enthusiasts are not that much appreciated, except if you are highly recognized or you have some, some people, like they say in Nigeria, in this part of our world. Even those that are even doing web designs and those that are doing full stacks and everything, they still get some very, very terrific orders, some very terrific offers from people that are actually quite barbaric. So basically what I'll just say is that is one of the major reasons why I set up this whole class, so that we all could have a community where we could help and jump on projects to do together and also help each other, because you never can tell when you would actually put up something on the platform and someone else sees it and like it, and you connect with yourself. No one can actually tell what happens tomorrow. But one thing I know in this part of our world, majority of those that are on the top skill are either marketers or those that know people. I mean, your knowledge and your form of association with people would actually skyrocket, would catalyze a lot of your growth phase in this part of the world. So thank you so much for all your knowledge, Free. Thank you once again. Then today, I think we are done with today's class. Tomorrow, we're going fully into phone designs for those that don't have a laptop. And even those that don't have a laptop, you also need to learn a phone skills, how to design on your phone, because the world has advanced where, when you have a client that, that needs some sort of design ASAP, where you can, sit down on your phone or, design it through your phone. There is so many amazing apps right now that are actually quite responsive and user-friendly, where you can even do things. You don't even necessarily have to think, because I remember when I started graphic design, you have to, be able to be patient and meditate on the design you want. There are so many interfaces right now where, you just have to pick your design and just change some things and, put yourself out there. That's where branding comes in, and also marketing. Just like what Fee said, don't just be a statistics, don't just be anyhow. However you put yourself out there is how the world would actually collect you. So thank you so much, Fee. And tomorrow, this is actually going to be the end of today's class. I hope we're able to get all we could. Tomorrow we start the design proper on phone designs. So today's class is basically to just, help you trace all your design process and to tell you everything that you need to know about design. Please, if you have any further information, kindly post it on the group platform. You would be attended to, or if you have any private question, just slide into my DMs. I will definitely reply. Thank you so much. So please, I hand over to you.
All right, thank you so much, Taiwo. Thank you so much, everyone who made out time to be here today. Remember, the time remains 9 p.m. tomorrow. We go into phone designs. So I'll send you a list of apps you download for tomorrow's class. So make sure you don't miss tomorrow's class, because that's the only time we're going to be taking phone designs. For those of us that do not have a laptop, we're not left out, as we're also going to be learning how to design. So that'll be all from me. Good night, everyone, and have a good night rest. Goodbye.